Welcome, everyone, to this edition of Talented Universe on this wonderful evening on November 13th, 2024. Before I introduce our marvelous guest from The Voice, I would like to introduce my co-host for today, Marcia. How are you doing, Marcia?
Hi, good evening, everybody. And I'm thrilled to be here with Cassidy Lee. Oops, did I start her
You did.
introduction?
Now you have to finish it, Marcia. You slipped.
Go ahead, Michael. I couldn't help myself.
That's okay. That's okay. Go ahead.
No, okay. Well, I am really excited to introduce Cassidy Lee, and many of you already know her from The Voice. She's been an incredible contestant, and we happen to be in the same city right now. We're here in Jacksonville, Florida, and welcome, Cassidy, to Talented Universe.
Thank you so much for having me. So we're neighbors, aren't we?
We are. But just before we went on air, I said we may have to get some of the Jacksonville stuff out of the way first. So you grew up in Jacksonville. You were born in Jacksonville?
I did. So my family owned a martial arts school in Arlington. So I grew up in Arlington. I lived in Nashville for a couple years, and now I'm back in Jacksonville, and I live on the north side towards the airport.
Oh, okay.
I-
And in Jacksonville, one of the main things in Jacksonville as far as sports is the Florida Georgia weekend, which we just had, and we were kind of talking about that a little bit. And do you get into Florida Georgia at all, or?
So because I grew up in martial arts, I wasn't a big football fan, but I do love the party aspect of it. I love the tailgating and I love the community part of it. But I actually live at an RV resort, and they go all out for Florida Georgia weekend. There will be people have like gators in their yard that are chomping on like it's just so funny. They really set up all of their yards so funny. So that's what I love about football.
Yeah, and Jacksonville is the largest city in area in the United States, and so it's really spread out in Jacksonville. But one of the things about Jacksonville that I like is that it's very diverse. There are lots of different kinds of people here. There are lots of things going on now. There's, of course, the Jaguars. There are many places to eat in Jacksonville. Do you have some special places where you love to eat?
I love Hoven Mediterranean in Riverside. That is my favorite place. It's so good.
I know that well. In 5 Points, the one in 5 Points?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. What's your
that
favorite
is
kind?
So I'm gluten free and I'm dairy free, so they have like a lot of options for me. So I love getting like a gyro with a gluten free wrap. It's so good.
Oh, wow. That's super cool. So let's talk about The Voice. How exciting is it that this is your second time trying out for The Voice, and you.
Yes. So
you
I
were
auditioned, and I didn't get a chair turn, and it was absolutely devastating. And I kind of like took some time to heal from it, just because, you know, when you're out there and you're thinking that you're gonna, you know, audition and you're hopefully making it on the show, and then that doesn't happen, it is like really, really sad. So I came home and I, you know, took some time for myself, and they reached out to me about auditioning again, and I was like, you know what, I think it's the right time. So I went back out, and thankfully it worked in my favor.
And to do that, you have developed your personal style.
Yes.
I know that Gwen Stefani particularly noted your hair. Remember, she said, "Oh, you got." How did that happen? Where did that?
So I've always liked to have a little something different with my hair. I used to have just blonde and, you know, purple underneath. And then right before the show, I was like, I need like a statement piece. And because normally I wear a hat, but I feel like with this haircut, I can kind of just like not wear a hat. And this is like my hat, you know?
Mhm.
But I always make a joke, like I did in the show, that I'm a Gemini. So these are my two personalities. Just
Mhm. Mhm. I'm sorry, Michael, did you want to?
Oh well, yeah, that's fine. So I can just sit here, but I just want to say, because we really haven't talked about it yet on this stream. If you are in our chat room and you want to ask a question to Cassidy, please post it in the chat room, and we will get to as many as we can. I do have a few in here now, so I will go ahead and do a couple of questions if. Hopefully we can say it right. This is from Justin Fields. I loved your black lace shawl. Did you wear it as inspiration by Stevie Nicks, who you are similar to vocally? So they're basically saying that you sound like Stevie Nicks.
Awesome. That's such a huge compliment. I love her voice and I love her style. And I definitely do kind of, come to her for inspiration for my voice and, clothing. And it's so funny about that shawl that I was wearing, because when they picked that out for me and when I saw it, I was like, wow, this was made for me. And it's so funny because I keep seeing some comments of people asking about it, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, I want that. Where did you get it from?" And someone else commented, "I looked it up and that was $300, so never mind." Expensive shawl, but
Yeah,
luckily,
hey, I mean, that's, hey, inspiration, fashion. That's the way it happens. Um, Let me ask you. I've asked almost all of the contestants this season. How much of the blind audition do you remember?
So the first time I auditioned, I don't remember any of it.
Thing.
What I do remember from the first audition is all of the horrible things. I remember how I felt in the moment, but they say that you really do black out.
Yeah.
So I was trying so hard to just like take in the moment and like look around, but really I blacked out again for the
You really did, even though you were prepared this time.
Yeah. I was like so prepared. I'm like, I'm gonna just like take it all in, but like I was so close to the end of the show that I was so scared I wasn't going to get a chair turn because the teams were really, really
They were
filling.
getting full. Yeah. No, I mean, that
So,
is that is a problem when they do
it
get
is.
full.
And so right before they like opened the doors, I was just like, oh my God, you've got to make it. You can't audition and not make it again. Like I was just putting so much pressure on myself. So I woke up that day and I was so calm. I was like meditating in the chair and I was like, okay, I got this. I got this. And then they're like, okay, we need you to hair and makeup. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm next. And all of that went out the window.
And out the window. Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, wow. And so I don't, watching it back was like crazy to like actually see what happened, because I really didn't remember anything except coming off the stage and crying.
That was all you remembered. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, I mean, we're all human, and I mean, as I've told some of the other contestants, I don't know what state I would be in, having to go through and do what you did with icons there. That, are they going to turn around? Am I doing my best job?
Yeah.
Look at that audience. Look at all those people. It's just.
I definitely think the blind auditions were scarier than the battles, especially because I had like someone on stage with me for that.
Right.
I thought that like performing in front of the coaches was going to be scarier, but having their backs turned to you is just as scary.
It's intimidating. I mean,
Yeah.
because I've done a little performing, but not anything like that. But if they're facing you, at least you can see how they're reacting. But when they're not facing towards you, you have no idea what's going on. And I mean, you don't see it until you see it when it airs, because I mean, the camera's facing them the other way, and I mean, you can see what they were feeling. But it's like, wow.
It was a lot. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, but hey, you handled it well. I mean, hey, you got battles. I mean, good for you. I mean,
Thank you.
good for you. Now you have your own group, correct?
I do.
In Jacksonville, right?
Yes, we're called Annie Dukes.
Mm-hmm. I think I have one of the TikTok link for the Annie
Yeah.
Dukes down there. So everybody, Cassidy's links are down the bottom. You can go there and look at her social medias. If you're lazy like me and can't write all that down, you can go to our website, ndbmedia.net, under videos and under Talented Universe, and I have all of them listed for her show, and this show link also is there too, so you can go there to look at her links, and so then you don't have to write them down if you don't want to. Just do ndbmedia.net. So what is your fondest memory, and if you can't, from The Voice the second time, and if you don't want to answer, that is perfectly fine.
So I think that I tried like really hard to, like, I would isolate myself a little bit when I needed to. I would stay in my room for days at a time, and then I'd walk outside and be like, oh my God, I forgot there are people here.
People.
And I love them. So I think my fondest memories are like just the friendships that I made. And actually my friend Katie O, who is also from Jacksonville, being on the show with her at the same time was just the coolest thing ever. She is 10 years younger than me, which freaked me out, but I'm like, I've got a little sister here. Like, I tried to be like a big sister to her, like I would have wanted for myself when I was there when I was young, because she's 8 years old. Like, so I think just the friendships and, you know, hanging out with people and the experiences that we got to experience together was definitely my fondest memory of the whole thing.
Yeah, let me just throw out one more question, then we're going to go back to Marcia. Lake Goddess says congratulations. I'm sure that is for everything that you getting on the show. Is this a friend of yours?
I was trying to look at the picture, but I can't see. But thank you so much.
It's sometimes the pictures don't, you can't figure out. So I can totally relate to that. Marcia,
well,
going back
and
to you.
just the Lake Goddess also asked, did you get to keep the shawl?
I did get to keep the shawl, which was awesome. I got to keep a lot of really cool pieces from all of my performances, which was awesome. But the shawl was definitely my favorite.
And the hat, that was yours? Was the hat?
Yeah. The hat was mine. I had it custom painted by a friend like 2 years ago. And then the hat that I wore for my battle was theirs, and I didn't get to keep that one. But
just quickly, you do know Lake Goddess. You sang at her wedding in Keystone.
Awesome. Okay. That's awesome. I remember now.
Okay, go ahead, Marcia. Sorry about that, but I just wanted to get that in before I forgot.
Yeah, your group. How did you decide to form a group? Because you were a soloist before.
Mm-hmm. So when I came home from the first time of not making it, I kind of took a little bit of a break from music because I was playing cover gigs 5-6 nights a week, and I was just getting burnt out. I was like, I always knew music was what I wanted to do, but I was like, I think I need to take just a little bit of a break from that. And my band came to me at that time when I was just like at my lowest musically, and it just changed my entire life. And I remember feeling like, wow, everything makes sense now, of like why I didn't make it on the show the first time, why these things weren't working out, because everything just kind of led me to my band, which really just like changed my life and my career completely. And I love my band, and I love everything we stand for, and I love the music that we put out. So I'm just really happy with it.
Mhm. And I have listened to a lot of your music, which I'm now a fan of
Oh, thank
yours. You
you.
are. So you've got at least one new fan, but
Awesome. Thank
you
you.
actually have quite an active group of
Everything counts. Thank you.
yeah. So and when you formed your group, were they people that you already knew or?
So we all came together over a friend of ours that had passed away. So there was like a mutual death. Um, and we've kind of had some like different members over the time, but Emma and I are the ones that have been in the band from like the start till now. So it just like everything just really just set itself into place the way that it was supposed to be, and it
Mhm.
worked itself out.
And you've opened for was it ZZ Top, I believe.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was awesome. We got to play 2 shows with ZZ Top in Florida. We got to meet Billy Gibbons, which was awesome. We've had some super cool experiences, especially over the last year or two, which have been awesome.
Mhm. So being on the show, watching it, and you see these stars, you see Michael Bublé, and how were you starstruck?
So I will say, I try to normally keep my cool, but the person I was most starstruck for was Jennifer Hudson.
Oh,
Because when I walked in for the knockout, like the what is it, the coaching,
Mhm.
yes.
they didn't tell us who it was, so everyone was just like, it's gonna be someone big, and like they would not let you tell anybody who it was if you knew.
Yeah.
Like, who is it? Who is it? And they're like, I was starstruck. And I was already so in my head because I'm not really like a blues soulful singer. So when I walk in, I'm like, wow, I have to sing this song for like the queen of soul right now. So that definitely was the most I've been starstruck. But every coach is so personable and genuine that they make you feel like they're your friend just hanging out there talking to you.
Mhm. I don't know what you were feeling inside, but watching you have a calmness that comes across the screen. I know that performing in live in front of an audience, say in a club, is different from being on broadcast.
Mhm.
Do you consciously think about being coming across on broadcast, or do you just go for it?
So I think that like when I lived in Nashville and being in my band, we play to a different audience every single night. Sometimes there's a couple hundred people, sometimes you're playing to 5 people and 4 of them are the girlfriends of the band that played before you. Like, so I kind of just like my goal every time I'm performing, whether it's at a show or on TV, I'm like, you know what? How can I like win the crowd over, and how can I like find my calm and my center to where I can get through this no matter what? And something my mom would always say to me before something big was just like, let my breath be grace. So whenever I step onto a stage or I have some kind of big moment I'm nervous for, I kind of just say that and meditate a little bit and try to connect to whatever, higher power you believe in, and just do my best. So, but I appreciate that compliment because 5 seconds before I'm stepping on stage, I'm like shaking my hands and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. So I'm glad that it comes across that I'm calm.
Yeah. And I noticed in one of your maybe in one of your videos you wore what looked like a quartz crystal.
Yes.
Hmm.
It was a purple amethyst and it was a moon
Yes.
one. And this is my other one. I love
Yes.
purple amethyst. It's one of my favorite crystals ever. So are you a crystal girl?
I am. I'm also an aromatherapist as well, so I do all that kind of stuff.
I just
Yeah.
got Reiki done today.
I'm a Reiki master, as a matter of fact.
I am totally coming to see you. How cool.
And yeah, it's interesting how things happen sometimes because my middle name is actually Lee. So when I looked at
That's
Cassidy Lee, I said, "Oh,
crazy.
yeah, it
Oh,
is. It is." And I'm a licensed massage therapist as well. So
wow. Okay.
yeah,
Well, we'll meet up soon.
absolutely. So do you remember your very first song? Because you said I think that you first started performing where you in the trailer RV
Yes, in
place.
the RV park. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I had so many different like musical influences. Like I've always loved like classic rock and roll. But I didn't get to start singing rock until I was in my band. So my biggest influences were I really loved Jewel. So that was one of the first artists that I ever just like dove into and like learned all of her songs. So she was, I think her song "Who Will Save Your Soul" was the first song I learned.
And was that the first song you performed for people in front of
Yeah,
people?
absolutely. I
And how?
remember I didn't
Mhm.
have a lot of songs, and I think I played a 3 hour gig with only like 10 songs, and I just kept repeating the same ones over and over.
Mhm.
Mm. Let me go back in the chat room quickly. I've got one question from Anne. I'd love to see you and Katie O perform together.
Hi,
And
Ian. I know Anne.
you know Anne? Okay, cool.
I would love to perform with Katie too. We actually knew each other before the show, which was awesome.
Oh, so you knew her before. Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
so I saw her beautiful smile pop up in one of the Zooms we were having to do. And I was like, there is no way that Katie O is on the same season as me. And then when we're on the plane together, I realized that Edward was from Fernandina. I was like, we've got a lot of Florida people. Uh,
Yeah.
but I would love to sing with Katie. She is so talented and seriously like the most pure, genuine person I think I've ever met in my entire life. Like, she is so kind.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've had a couple of people on. I haven't had KDO on yet, so we've had others, so
Yeah, that's awesome.
that is great. So what if you could choose if you could open up this is wait a second. If you could open right now for anyone in particular, who would you like to open for
Ooh,
in a concert?
that
Or
is
if
it.
you don't want to do that, where
Uh-huh.
would you like to have your next concert at? What venue? Either
So
in Jacksonville or anywhere in the world.
anywhere in the world. So
Have you thought of anything like that? Yeah.
if we're talking worldwide,
We're talking worldwide. We're going all the way.
I would love to play at Red Rocks. I would love to play at Bonnaroo. I would love to play at Halloween. There's a bunch of places like that, but for a venue in Jacksonville or St. Augustine, I would say playing at the St. Augustine Amphitheater would be awesome. So that's what my answer is going to be.
Okay, there you go. There you go. And do you want to say who you would like to, if you were opening act for someone,
Mm-hmm.
who would you like that main act to be? Because then the next time you'd be the main act. So that's why I'm asking.
Okay, so I think I would love to maybe open up for Heart.
Oh, wow.
Most
Mm-hmm.
of most of my favorite bands are classics, so they're not really even touring anymore.
Well, we
But
could get Art coming back again, couldn't
yeah,
we?
oh yeah, Heart.
I
I
think so. Yes.
think they're playing together again.
They sing Barracuda. See, I know Art.
Maybe opening up for one of them would be awesome. But also, we'd love to play with ZZ Top again because that was just some of the coolest shows I've ever played. So I'll throw that in there as well.
Well, there you go. That makes total sense. Marcia, have you got anything?
Oh, I sure do.
Okay,
Well,
there you go.
back to the voice. Where do you live? Would you go there and stay there until your time is over, or do you commute back and forth? How does that work? If you can tell us.
So I don't know how much I can tell,
I
but
would I
Okay,
would say
well, don't
skip
worry about
that.
that.
I
Yeah,
say skip
don't worry
that
about that.
and yeah.
yeah,
No.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think it's different every season, is what I'll say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, about so Michael Bublé was the one who was the chair that turned for you. How cool is that?
Oh, it was so awesome. It's crazy because at first I really, really wanted Gwen to turn for me. Um, and then when Michael turned for me and I got to like, he seemed like he just cared so much. And during the coaching part of it, during the battles, like he spent so much extra time with everybody. Like some people ran through their songs for almost 45 minutes. And he
And you
just,
do not see that on that's broadcast.
no,
No.
like he really, really, really cared. And I remember that day everyone else was done, and our team was there all day. Like everyone was exhausted, but it's just because of how much he cared about everyone, and he was so personable. So I'm so glad that he turned for me. That was just the best thing.
Yeah, that is, I mean, it is amazing.
Have you covered any songs, or have you tried any of Michael Bublé songs?
I haven't, but I think that I'm going to soon. I think that I'm going to try to cover Feeling Good because that's a good one.
Would you like to sing with Edward?
Oh, that would be so funny. I would love that. Edward is
we've had Edward on. I mean, he was great. He was great.
He cracks me up. I whenever we'd have to fly back and out there and like we'd be on the same plane, I remember he had like an old-timey suitcase. I was like, "What do you have in there?" And he opened it up and it was hats. He was carrying his hats around.
Well, he didn't want to put him in a suitcase. I don't blame him.
The next time I
those are special.
had another bag and it had his initials embroidered on it. I was like, he's always in the suit, always in the hat. Like he's so stylish and so funny. Like he's such a character.
Yeah, I mean, he was a character when he was on with us, and you know, I was just like, he is a cool guy.
He is. He's so funny. And I remember he sent a message out to our group chat and was like, just letting you guys know, in my room at 6 p.m. I'm going to be reading some short stories that I wrote. And he had like 10 people in his room reading all these like short stories.
Really? Oh, wow.
Like, what else did he do? He tap dances. He does it all.
Wow.
And I'm trying to remember, is he like 19?
I think he's 19.
I think he is.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Super young.
I mean, he does not act. I mean, he doesn't act 19. I mean,
no, not at all.
He does. He has. I can't remember which coach says he's like an old soul.
Oh, he does have an old soul,
yeah.
For sure.
I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing. Last call for the chat room. If you have any other questions for Cassidy, please post them in there. We're getting ready to wrap up in a few minutes. I'm going to let Marcia get one last question.
Oh,
and
darn.
If she has
we'll
one,
have to chat. Oh,
I know. I'm so mean. I know. You know I'm mean, Marcia.
Yes.
You should know that from all the other podcasts we do together.
You are, Cassie, you're on the verge of real fame. You've had a lot of success already, but you can feel that you're right almost there. So how are you preparing for that?
I think that I don't really know. I don't know what my definition of like fame would be or what that would look like for my band. But we tour a lot. So I think that if my band could just tour and like play shows every night for a new crowd, like that is what I would want. And that's what we've been doing. So I hope that it just keeps like climbing up like the levels of the venues that we're playing and the crowds just get bigger. So I'm mentally preparing for that and I'm manifesting that for us because that's what I want.
Excellent.
That is good. That is good.
It's going to be different.
It will be. It will be. And Annie Duke says, "We love you, Cassidy. So proud of you." And I would say we're at Talented Universe. We would totally agree with that.
Yes.
And we wish you all the best for all of your endeavors that are coming forward.
Thank you.
And we are so happy that you came to visit us tonight. And please, if you'd ever like to come back again and talk about what's going on with your band or with you, or if you do some special performance that you'd like to put out there, we're here if you'd like to use us.
I would love that. Thank you so much. It's so nice to meet both of you, and I will be seeing you soon.
Yes,
right.
you may.
We'll
You
connect.
may. You never know. You run into people in Jacksonville very, very quickly. Oh, I have to throw up this. Justin Fields says a question: would you duet with Stevie Nicks herself?
I mean, if she's up for it, I will literally be there instantly. I would love that.
You'd hop on a plane wherever she is, right?
Yes, I would walk there. I would run there right now.
Yeah,
barefoot
well,
through the sand.
Barefoot in the snow, uphill, both ways, all of it.
Yeah, whatever it takes, right?
Exactly.
Whatever it takes. Well, also, I'm throwing this up to cover up Marcia and myself. You know, the indiemedia.net/U.html. That will get you right to the Talented Universe site. And if you want to grab the links for Cassidy or any of the other guests that we have had on or are coming up, which is, let me just say quickly, we are having 2 more guests from The Voice on the 17th of November, which I believe is Sunday afternoon. I believe it's 1 p.m. Eastern time. Kiara and Aaliyah. And so we will have them on. And so we hope that you join us for that. On behalf of Marcia and myself, Vernon and Elizabeth, everybody else on the Talented Universe staff and other friends that we have, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.